Hello, today I'm going to read a short extract, maybe even the first chapter from Armistice Runner. An Armistice Runner is about a girl who's a fell runner, so she does cross-country running, sort of up and down hills, and she discovers that her great-great-granddad was a famous runner 100 years ago, and he became a trench runner in the First World War, which is someone who delivered messages to and fro across the battlefield and in the trenches. And it's kind of two parallel stories, one of her and her running exploits and one of Ernest's sort of exploits in the First World War as a runner. So I'm going to try and read you the first chapter, but I'm going to try and do it in a kind of a. I usually just read things quite straight, but I'm going to try and perform it. So I'm going to try and read it like we're in a race, because it starts with Lily taking part in a fell race. So I thought if I do it like that, it might be more entertaining, and you've got to challenge yourself, haven't you? So that's what I'm going to try and do. Here we go. Chapter 1, Armistice Runner. And the reason I'm reading this today is I'm delighted that this book has just won the Derbyshire Nottingham Brilliant Book Award, which is voted for by children. So now it's won, unbelievably for me, it's won 6 awards, and I didn't used to win awards really, and so this book has made me feel like I'm all right at what I do. So that's why I've chosen to read this, because I'm feeling really good about this and very grateful to Nottinghamshire for awarding me it. Lily accelerated, keeping her eyes on the three girls ahead of her. She was 10 metres behind them, within striking distance, as they climbed the muddy, waterlogged path. Time to attack. She pushed past the first of the 3 leaders, a thin girl in a white vest. Now Lily was in 3rd place. Ahead of her were Gemma and Keely, older than Lily, slower than Lily on the uphills. Chest hurting, legs hurting, everything hurting. Lily pushed herself hard. She could hear her own lungs forcing air in and out as she passed Gemma and Keely, and now she had taken the lead. She knew that she had to get her breathing right. The ground was firmer further up the hill, not boggy like the start of the path, but Lily placed her feet carefully, avoiding exposed roots and rocks that meant a slip or a twist, a tack. Lily knew she had to keep at it, because now she could sense who was behind her. She couldn't see her, she couldn't hear her, but she knew she was there all the same. Abby Granger, arms pumping like an unhinged windmill, running on Lily's shoulder, waiting for her moment to overtake. After pushing hard up the hill, Lily was struggling to breathe evenly now, beyond her comfort zone. She heard a voice in her head as she stared across the high open moor on the other side of the valley. "It's only a training run," the voice said. "Save your best for the big race." It was true, Lily thought. This, after all, was only a training run, the last training run before the first big fell race of the season, one that Lily would be racing, one that Abby would race too, in the Lake District village where Lily's gran and granddad lived. That was the important run, not this one. Lily felt a crosswind ripple over the surface of the moor, the ground beneath her feet changing again to soft, wet, wild grass, damp working its way into her fell shoes. Lily hated wind like this. It interfered with her breathing, breaking the rhythm of her ins and outs. She gazed across the top of the moor towards the range of higher hills to the west. Clouds drifted eastwards, greys and whites, like giant sheep grazing on hills. Eyes back on the track, Lily saw some of the parents standing on the side of the course, Abby's dad among them. This was the moment that Abby chose to make her move. She put an explosion of pace where the track widened before it fell downhill, overtaking Lily. Lily felt a sudden burst of sullen fury. What had she been doing, staring at the cloud, thinking they looked like giant sheep? Stupid. Now she could hear Abby's dad yelling at his daughter. "Take her!" he yelled. "Get her! Put her out of the race!" His words came as a shock to Lily, although Abby's dad was always like that, always shouting at his daughter. Okay, Abby was in the lead now, but it wasn't even a proper race. Faster, harder, Lily felt the rhythm of her breath falter even more as she tried to match Abby's speed. She wanted to reach out and grab her rival, pull her back, but Abby was leaving her for dead now. Lily wanted to cry out in anger, but she could have, and she would have, if she'd been alone or somewhere Abby couldn't hear her. Instead, she felt herself slow down, her head drop, a scowl numbing her face. Downhill all the way. Gemma and Keely eased past her. Lily made up post-run excuses in her head. My knee was aching. I've got a cold coming on. I didn't get to bed until late last night. But none of these things were true, and she would not say them. She'd run badly, and she'd run badly because she took her mind off running. Then, unforgivably, she'd given up and let herself be beaten. These were the real reasons. Lily ran past her coaches. Then she saw her dad and her brother Tim. Tim was holding his hand up to make an L shape, mouthing loser, and Lily's head filled with thoughts, bad thoughts. She thought about the long drive to her grandparents with her idiot brother next to her on the back seat, about Abbey Granger in the race in a couple of days, about Gran being ill, and how it might be serious because she'd overheard Mum and Dad talking about it the night before. The next 3 days might be hard. So that is the first chapter, and that sort of brings in Lily and her grandma, who's got dementia, and there's quite a few problems there at Grandma and Granddad's house. But also we find out about Ernest, who's Lily's great-great-granddad. And Lily finds inspiration from what she finds out about Ernest, her great-great-granddad. So that's Armistice Runner. Thank you very much for listening. And I hope next time you get out for a run that helps in some way. Cheers.